Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we're discussing the latest generation Breguet Marine Chronograph. This is the 5527, and as you can see, this watch is beefy in titanium, part of the latest generation of Marine, launched back in 2018. It represents the state-of-the-art in Breguet Marine Chronograph technology, featuring handsome decoration, a still clear Lamagna mechanical lineage, and a lot of versatility with luminescence, automatic winding, a durable base metal, and 100-meter water resistance. The watch is 42.3 millimeters in diameter, 14.1 millimeters thick. I measure it 50.3 from lug to lug, so 50.3 millimeters lug to lug. But if we measure the first link on each side, and I'll show you what I mean by that. See how these are rigid? I can't push them down anymore. The total distance from side to side is a large 58 millimeters. Breguet states the lug spacing is 24, but as you can see, nothing but a specific kind of bracelet or strap will fit, so it's good to know the spacing unless you're getting something full custom or you're buying from Breguet. This is not a generic type of spring bar junction here. And you can see that we do have a system of screws fixing the bracelet to the case, which I prefer to spring bars because it's a more secure and less risky setup, particularly well-suited to sports watches. Now, of course, being titanium, it feels light for its size. I would also say it's thinner than I expect. With a double gadroon sloped bezel, it will actually slide under dress cuffs, and not just jackets, but shirts too. I'd recommend it for wrists my size and larger, so 16 centimeters circumference and up, and you're good to go. The bracelet's a good-looking piece, as you can see in profile. The links are polished on the top. It's a combination of polish and satin, and it's actually quite nuanced and handsome. You can also see on the bottom that we have quite a few removable links here, so we do have the ability to size this. Note the presence of irregular sized links in case you find yourself in between sizes. You do have some incremental adjustability built in there with the intermediate sized links. We have a double folding clasp, and you can see that it features a twin trigger release. So once it's closed, you have to press both triggers to pop it open. That's reassuring and should provide a good deal of security against accidental deployment. Now, the watch is made of titanium, grade 5, which is both lighter than steel and hypoallergenic, but it's also harder than most watchmaking steels and grade 2 titanium. Now, on the dial, you could see, I'll move the hand out of the way, the hands and the indices are made of white gold. And you might be wondering what's happening there. On a Lamagna 1350 based movement, if you pull the crown and make an adjustment while the chronograph is engaged, it will drive the chronograph minutes register. So if you want to make an adjustment, what you do is you turn off the chronograph and then you make your adjustment. So just a little life hack if you are living with a Lamagna based chronograph. But back to the dial. You can see it's an attractive sunburst, and the sunburst actually emanates from below the Breguet nameplate at the top rather than from a point under the hands. So the origin point of the brushed sunburst is actually right about here. The numerals in the hands are all white gold to add lux, but also prevent tarnishing over time. You can see that the inner bezel is actually polished to reflect light better onto the dial. And although this is not the most complex guilloche cut, it is a lathe guilloche dial all the same. You can see we've got a watchmaker's 4 over at 4 o'clock. We have radially arrayed Roman numerals, and you'll be pleased to see that we have a reasonable amount of luminescence as well, including all of the minutes around the dial. It's probably more luminescence than you expect, and you can see that polished inner bezel reflecting the lume. A couple of things to note. We do have a screw-down crown to enable the 100-meter water resistance. We have this wave motif in the form of the chronograph pushers. And I should mention that this chronograph here is a flyback chronograph. So reset and restart without first stopping, great for timing things that happen in rapid succession. And you can see that we have a hacking seconds function as the running seconds here has been disabled. We also have a quick set for the date. And notice that the outermost numeral is the one that is larger. So when you get to the double-digit numbers, the outermost numeral is larger to fit the trapezoidal window for the date, which is a nice touch. Okay, other things that are important to know, well, we're going to turn the movement over now and get a better look at it. Of course, this is all based on the 1970s vintage Lamagna 1350, but my goodness, have there been changes. There have been aesthetic ones to improve the standard of decoration, mechanical ones to improve the durability, as well as precision of adjustment. Note the use of a free-sprung balance rather than a mobile stud index. And it's beaten away at 4 hertz. All this has a 48-hour power reserve. There's a silicone hairspring to make it highly anti-magnetic. That's another modern-day upgrade. The pusher feel is quite good. It's not quite as sharp as a column wheel, but it's quite distinct. And one feature has been added to make the engagement less abrupt than previous versions of this lateral clutch chronograph. So we have a cam function cycler. You can see up here the cam. And then here's the lateral clutch, but look at that driving wheel. Now that is probably a liga-formed structure, and the idea is to have many small sprung individual points of engagement to take up the play or the slack that normally causes a lateral clutch chronograph to jump. And so you can see it is quite smooth in how it engages. And so that really is a benefit that offers tangible improvement over the legacy versions of this 582 movement. It pivots on 28 joules. You can see it has a mass that is shaped like the wheel of a ship, because Breguet, once upon a time, was the watchmaker to the French Navy. And you can also see that we have sort of these striations on the bridges that are designed to look like the planks of a ship. Look carefully, and you can even see underneath the planks of the deck, we have a bidirectional pawl-based winding system. So this is a pawl-based winding system, very similar to magic lever. We have engine turning on the base plate. We have polished screw heads with chamfered slots in circumference. All the chronograph parts in steel have been satin brushed and then beveled on their edges. This is one of the best looking 582s I can recall from Breguet. And of course, Lamagna is now manufacturer Breguet. So this can be justly called a in-house caliber. And again, a 48-hour automatic winding power reserve, and the movement fairly large at 31 millimeters, nicely filling the case back. There's a lot to love. Probably a smarter choice than a Royal Oak chronograph and a better deal than a Daytona. Reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details. One more little thing, actually. Take a look at the counterweight to the seconds hand. Notice how it's a nautical pennant? This watch is full of little winks and nods.